Hello, my beautiful humans. So I'm going to make this video to explain to you again, if maybe you forgot or if you were a student who's not here on Friday, about the new project we are starting. So the project we are starting is called I Am a Scientist. Now it kind of connects to the project we completed in the earlier part of the year. However, this one is more detailed on what kind of scientists we can find in our world. So I'm going to read through the two parts of the project and then explain to you in more detail what the other assignments are for the project. So, reading through your project packet says you need to create a mini poster either on paper or in the app of your choice. So you could either do a poster or Canva would be your best options. If you've never used Canva, you probably want to stay with regular paper. You're going to select a type of scientist from the fields we've discussed or pick one you know about. So in your packet, if you go to page 2 and 3, it lists tons of different scientists in our world. In your Google Classroom, there is a tab titled I Am a Scientist that has all of the project's pieces, and then it says type of scientist Quizlet. So you will find in there all the different types of scientists and what they study. You need to fill out this sheet. If you don't fill out your packet, you will lose major points. So while you're doing the Quizlet, please make sure that you are filling out your packet. Once you have done that, you will choose which scientist you would aspire to be in real life, and then you're going to conduct research on your scientists in order to complete the following tasks. So we have part 1 and part 2. Part 1 is on half of your poster, you will include one or more well-written paragraphs about this scientist's career and why you chose it. You need to make sure that before you're putting your paragraphs together, that you are conducting all of your research and putting all of your notes on a Google Doc that is shared with me. Create a Google Doc, title it with which type of scientist you have chosen, and put all of your information on that Google Doc. You cannot start your poster until you have finished your Google Doc with all your information. So in that part 1, which there's a rubric on here, so it's going to explain everything that has to be completed, but you might put what type of work your scientist does. So the job, the field of study, what do you want or why do you want to be this type of scientist? Where does the scientist work? Hospital, in a lab, outside, but you need to describe the location. What skills or abilities do you need to be or need to have to be the scientist? What education and degrees do you need to earn to be this type of scientist? What tools does the scientist use? You need to give an example of a real life scientist who does this actual job, and then describe any other interesting information you learned about the scientist while conducting your research. And make sure that your paragraph is interesting, has complete sentences, starts with a capital letter, ends with the period, okay? Now part 2, and this might be a little tricky for us, but I think we can all do it. You are gonna draw yourself either by hand or using an app in the role of the scientist you have chosen. So what you're gonna have to do is we're going to be taking pictures in class on Friday. If you're not here, we'll have to do that when I get back. You're going to include that as the head of the person you are drawing. And then in your project packet, it goes over all the key things that need to be in that part of the project. So like I said, page 3 and 4, you are using the Quizlet to fill it out. You need to have this packet filled out. Page 5. So page 5, you are going to create a web. In your Google Classroom, there is a link that goes along with this, and this link is called What Does a Good Researcher Do? Use that link to complete your web. The web needs to be completed on paper, otherwise you will lose points. Now, page 6 in your project packet and page 8 could be filled out on a Google Doc. So all of page 6 and page 8 can be on a Google Doc. So this is where you're putting all of your key notes. What type of work does a scientist do? Where does a scientist work? What skills do they need? What type of equipment do they need? What education do they need? All that needs to go on your Google Doc. On page 8, you need to list at least 3 websites that you got your information from. It should not be Wikipedia. It needs to be something that is credible, so not Wikipedia. And you need to fill that out either on your Google Doc or on the sheet. Page 9, it all has to do with the U.S. education system. This has to be filled out on your packet. Page 9 has to be filled out on your packet. There is a link that goes with this on your Google Classroom, and it is titled U.S. Education System, and it's a Google slide. So you will find all of your answers to fill this out in your Google Classroom under the U.S. Education System slideshow. Everything else in the packet, so page 10 and page 13, is just a rubric for you. So it gives you examples on how you could put it together in your notes and your paragraph. It gives you what needs to be included to make sure that you're receiving all of your key points. So make sure that if you have any questions, you are looking over your packet first, but otherwise everything can be found in your Google Classroom. Make sure that you are creating a Google Doc and sharing it with me with all your information, or you will not be able to move on to your poster. Make sure that your paragraph includes all of the information in your notes. So this is a big project. It is a big part of your grade, and I am expecting amazing things from you. If you finish early and whoever is subbing has looked over your project and says, yep, looks like you're good to go. In your Google Classroom, there is also a tab called Early Finisher. There are 3 different activities in there. If you finish early, I'm expecting you to get those done. So if you're somebody who I come back and a sub has said they were done with 2 days left in the week, you should have all those activities done and you will be expected to finish them. If you are somebody who has been working on your project super hard and you're not done by Friday, you are not expected to finish those activities. I hope you guys have a great week, and I hope your subs can really help you out. I'm gonna miss you. Bye.